Yes, Aramco by far is the biggest, by far.
This is the major league as far as my field is concerned.
The performance standards in the computer center is probably second to none.
When you're in geology and engineering, to work on the biggest fields, to work on the fields that are just historical in value. What we do here affects, in a positive way, the world's economy. There's a tremendous amount of job fulfillment.
I think I'm having the very best time in my 18-year working career, really.
I've worked for 23 years so far in the industry, both on the gas front and the oil front, and this company has got both in a pretty large scale, with some 50-odd reservoirs and $1 billion investments that are coming up over the next 10 to 15 years. That's pretty fascinating sort of work.
We have to, push ourselves and keep reinventing ourselves, literally. What we were doing, what might have took days to do 5 or 6 years ago, has to take hours to do now.
Aramco really gives all the tools you need to achieve your goals.
The company is promoting new technology, so if you can call it new technology, basically you can have it. So certainly in our department, no, we have state-of-the-art equipment for sure.
The oil is here, therefore I thought that indeed it's a place where I can flourish as a scientist. It's rewarding because everybody looks at Aramco in terms of providing oil and gas needed for the world's economy. So I believe in exploration, all of us, we can put a little stone in this effort, in this big effort that the company does to make sure that world supplies are always intact. So to me it's a big kind of reward.
But I had to get my priorities right and ask myself, what do I really want? And I wanted a good environment for my children as a priority, utmost. Second one, a job that gives me peace of mind, in other words, job security. And I felt Aramco had that capacity.
I have really been challenged in my job here, and I've given a lot of responsibility in what I do, and yet, so I can deal with international organizations, international finance, and yet leave work and go home and coach a softball game, or a soccer tournament.
Be home by 4:30. Yeah.
And you didn't ever find the two compatible, when we were in the States, It has afforded me to continue my career, yet still have my family.
It is a most unique place to work.
And it's a lot of family time, if you choose. There's so many activities here, so many self-directed groups. If you're into baseball or soccer or racquetball or tennis, or horseback riding, whatever you want to do, you can take up as much of your time as you want with that, golfing. But there's a lot of time for family time.
It's a very easy place to transition into. Everyone's very helpful and welcoming, the company and in the community. We have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, and they absolutely love it here. We have a park across the street from our house with playground equipment, and our son finishes his homework and he says, "Mom, I'm going to the park," and we say, "Be home before dark," and he does, and it's wonderful. I don't think that most people in the United States can say that about their children anymore. We don't feel safe sending our kids out, and it's a very protected, very safe community.
Since we don't live far away from any of the activities that the kids are involved in, or we're not far away from school or our job, we have more time to spend with our family at home.
The hustle and bustle of city life is outside of this environment. Like if I were back home or elsewhere I had worked, we'd probably spend close to an hour in traffic.
You can be any place you need to be in 5 minutes.
I basically ride my bike to work.
One of the amazing things about living here is the company provides transportation from the office, from the schools, so that we can have lunch together every day. Life is very quiet here. It's very family-centered. It's very easy to kind of get comfortable here as a family.
People say we live in a little bit of fantasy world, and I think in some ways we do. But it's a reality. I mean, that's the way Aramco was designed.
To me, it seems like Leave It to Beaver, or going back to the 50s almost. And you see kids around here riding their bicycles after school or going on their own to the ball fields and playing. And they have so much that they can do here, and you don't have to be watching them all the time. The kids don't spend a lot of time watching TV or playing video games because they're out doing something all the time, and they're having a good time with their friends.
I've always been very happy here. I like the sporting facilities. I like being able to run, bike, swim, use the beaches, sail, water ski whenever I feel like. And when I get here, I find that it's a very balanced community. There's families, there's single people, and there's great weather and so much to do. So when I first arrived, I thought I arrived in heaven.
With no family attachment, we tend to cluster with each other. So our neighbor becomes like our friend, because there is no mother to visit, no father, and no grandparents. So that's really put us together as a family.
And you can see this idea of a family not only in the working environment, but also outside. It's really a big family. It's what I call the Aramco family.
If we look at our Christmas card list, for example, or a guest list for a party, we've got like 120 friends that we can invite. And they all know our kids, and they all know all about our kids, and they've known them since they were real little. So you have that kind of almost small town relationships.
So in some ways it's like teaching in 1958.